So I want to talk about this comment from the comedian Christopher Titus. Now, this is not me coming for him. I love Titus. He's a really funny comedian, but this is a common misconception that people have about Jews in the Holocaust. Teaching of Jewish suffering in the Holocaust often tends to focus on the concentration camps and not the ways that we actually resisted before we got to that point, or even after we got to that point. Some of the non-violent actions that we took in the Warsaw Ghetto after Jews were cut off from publications of newspapers reporting on the war, Jewish resistance groups actually started publishing their own underground publications in an attempt to give hopes to everyone who was living under Nazi persecution at the time. Again, more demonstrations of non-violent acts of resistance, which are still acts of resistance in themselves. Jews in Eastern Europe would smuggle food into the Nazi death camps, or they would actually smuggle people into the forests, especially from the death camp in Treblinka. Back over in the Warsaw Ghetto in Western Europe, the Jewish Combat Organization and the Jewish Military Union actually violently fought back against the Nazis, taking up arms and fighting with things like Molotov cocktails. It's estimated by the leaders of the Jewish resistance that around 300 Nazis were killed that day. Unfortunately, 13,000 Jews were killed as well, and almost 57,000 were deported to extermination camps. The reason why it was so hard for Jews to fight back against Nazis was not because we complied. We did not go silently into that good night. The real reason for our suffering was because we were a minority group up against an army, and real everyday people chose to look away instead of supporting us as we fought for our lives. The important lesson here is that the real thing that lets fascism thrive is not the victim's compliance. It's that everyday people choose to stay silent because they'd rather not get involved. Don't be silent. Don't let it happen again.